Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. I'm excited about today's topic because it's something I get asked about a lot.
Oh, weird.
Auto trading for options.
Okay.
Now, when you first hear that, it might sound intimidating, like something only pros do, but trust me, it could be a total game changer, even for beginners,
Right.
like yourself.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started exploring options, it felt like a roller coaster. Super stressful trying to keep up with everything.
Sure.
Auto trading really helped me take some of that pressure off.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Auto trading can be a really powerful tool to help you navigate the world of options without feeling constantly overwhelmed.
Okay, so for those who are totally new to this,
Right.
can you break down what auto trading actually is?
Of course. In simple terms, auto trading connects your brokerage account to a system that automatically executes trades based on signals from experienced traders. Think of it like having a co-pilot in the cockpit with you.
So it's like having an expert trader making decisions for me. That sounds almost too good to be true.
Well, it's not about blindly following someone else's trades.
Right.
You still need to understand the strategies and the risks involved. But the beauty of auto trading is that it takes the emotion out of the equation.
Yeah.
You're not making impulsive decisions based on fear or greed.
Right?
The system sticks to a predetermined plan no matter what's happening in the market.
That makes a lot of sense. Emotions can definitely get in the way of making smart trading decisions.
Oh, absolutely.
So how does this actually work for options?
So options are fantastic for risk management. And auto trading lets you automate even complex strategies. Think credit spreads, iron condors.
Wow.
You can implement these without having to constantly monitor the market and manually place trades.
Wow. So it really opens up a whole world of possibilities. But let's back up for a second. Before we even get to those complex strategies, what are the essential tools we need to set up an auto trading system?
There are three key components you absolutely need. First, you need a reliable brokerage account. If you're working with a larger account, say over $100,000, Interactive Brokers is a popular choice.
Okay.
Because their fees are competitive for high-volume trading.
Okay. But I know a lot of our listeners are just starting out. What if my account is a bit smaller?
Great point. For those with accounts under $100,000, a platform like Tradier might be a better fit.
Gotcha.
Their fee structure is designed for smaller accounts, so you're not losing a chunk of your profits to fees.
Right.
And for our international listeners, AutoShares is worth checking out as well.
Got it. So the brokerage account is like our home base. What's next?
Next, you need auto trading software.
Okay.
This is the engine that's going to drive your system. One option that's been around for a while and has a solid reputation is Global Auto Trading.
Okay.
It's been around since 2007, so they've got a lot of experience under their belt, and their platform is user-friendly.
Okay, that sounds pretty straightforward. So now we have our account and the software. But where do the actual trade ideas come from?
That's where signal providers come in.
Okay.
These are experienced traders who develop and share trading signals, which your software then uses to execute the trades automatically.
So basically, they're the brains of the operation and the software is the brawn.
Exactly.
Okay. Are there any signal providers you'd recommend, especially for someone just getting started?
I'd suggest taking a look at Advanced AutoTrades.
Okay.
We've got over 10 years of experience in the market, and we offer strategies that are specifically designed for beginners, like our monthly trend strategy.
That sounds intriguing. What makes that strategy good for beginners?
Well, as the name suggests, it involves just one trade per month. This makes it much easier to manage, especially when you're first starting out. And it's designed to be lower risk, which is always a good thing when you're learning the ropes. Plus, we offer a monthly subscription and even a free trial so you can test it out before committing.
That definitely sounds appealing. But how can I know if a signal provider is the real deal? There are so many out there, it's hard to tell who to trust.
Transparency is key. Look for providers who are open about their track record.
Okay.
Do they share their past performance? A trustworthy provider will have nothing to hide. They'll be able to show you the data that backs up their claims.
That's a really good point. So just to recap, we need a brokerage account, auto trading software, and a signal provider.
Right.
Those are the three pillars of our auto trading system, right?
Exactly. Once you have those in place, you're ready to start setting up your system.
Okay, let's do it. What's the first step?
Well, you've already knocked out the first step, which is choosing your brokerage account.
Right. So step 2 would be
subscribing to your auto trading software, like Global Auto Trading, and linking it to your brokerage account. Don't worry, this is usually pretty easy. Most platforms offer clear instructions to walk you through the process.
All right, easy enough. Then comes picking our signal provider. Advanced AutoTrades with that monthly trend strategy, it's sounding pretty good right about now. What are your thoughts?
I think that's a great choice for starting out, especially if you want to ease into things with a lower risk approach. But remember, the most important thing is to choose a strategy that you're comfortable with.
Right.
One that aligns with your risk tolerance and your trading goals.
And once we've chosen our signal provider, what's next?
It's time to figure out your initial allocation, how much capital you're willing to risk on each trade.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do I know how much to allocate? Is there some magic formula?
There's no one-size-fits-all answer, but as a beginner, it's always wise to start small. Maybe even with just one contract per trade. This way you can get a feel for the system and how it works without putting too much capital at risk.
That takes a lot of the pressure off. I was a little worried about jumping into the deep end. So we set our allocation, and then what? Do we just let it run?
Not quite. The next step is crucial, and that's testing. Once you have your system all set up, don't just assume it's going to work perfectly right out of the gate.
Right.
Monitor its performance closely for at least a few months.
Okay.
Compare the results to the signal provider's published data and make sure everything is working as expected.
So even though we're automating the trades, we still need to be actively involved in the process.
Absolutely. Auto trading doesn't replace diligence, it enhances it. Think of it like having a co-pilot, not autopilot.
Right.
You're still the one in control, but you have this powerful tool to help you navigate the markets.
I like that analogy. It's about working smarter, not harder.
Uh-huh.
So what happens once we've tested our system and we're feeling confident about how it's performing?
Once you've built up some trust in your system, you can gradually start to scale up your allocation.
Okay.
But remember, this should be a slow and steady process. Increase your risk gradually as your comfort level and your experience grow.
Okay, so no diving headfirst into the pool. Slow and steady wins the race, especially when it comes to trading. Is there anything else we need to do once our system is up and running?
One more important thing, set up alerts with your brokerage account.
Yeah.
You want to be informed about trade executions, any potential issues, really anything that's happening in your account. This way you can be proactive and address any problems before they snowball into something bigger.
Alerts, got it. Okay. We've covered a lot of ground here, choosing a brokerage, getting the software, finding a single provider, setting our allocation, testing the system, scaling up, and setting up alerts. It seems like a lot to take in.
It can feel a bit overwhelming at first, but once you break it down step by step, it becomes much more manageable. And trust me, the benefits reduce stress, increased efficiency, and the potential to replicate the success of experienced traders make it all worth the effort.
I'm starting to see why so many people are turning to auto trading. It really is like having a personal trading assistant working for you 24/7. But I'm guessing there are some common challenges that beginners face when they're setting all of this up.
Oh, absolutely.
How do we avoid getting lost in the technical weeds?
First of all, don't panic. Most platforms have really great customer support, and they've seen it all. They're there to help you through every step, so don't hesitate to reach out. And the good news is most of these platforms offer detailed guides and tutorials, so you're not just left to figure it out on your own.
That's reassuring to hear. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when you're dealing with new technology, but it sounds like there's plenty of help available. But even if we get the technical setup figured out, there's still the whole issue of managing risk, which feels like a pretty big deal.
Absolutely. Risk management is crucial, and it's one area where beginners often stumble. A common mistake is allocating too much capital right off the bat.
So how do we find that balance between being cautious and actually letting the system do its thing? Is there a rule of thumb for how much to allocate?
It really depends on your personal risk tolerance and your overall financial situation. But my advice is to always err on the side of caution, especially when you're new to auto trading. Start small, maybe with just one contract per trade, and gradually increase your allocation as you gain experience and confidence. Remember, slow and steady wins the race in trading.
Right. We don't want to bet the farm on our first trade. So any practical tips for managing and optimizing our auto trading system over time?
Regular performance reviews are key. Don't just assume that because it worked well for a few months, it's going to work forever. Analyze your trade reports, look for patterns, and make sure the system is still executing trades as expected.
So regular checkups like taking your car in for maintenance?
Exactly. You want to make sure everything is running smoothly under the hood. Another important thing is to focus on a balanced risk-to-reward ratio. Don't get caught up chasing those big wins, those home runs. Consistency is key in trading. Slow and steady growth is much more sustainable and less risky.
Makes sense. It's tempting to go for those big wins, but in the long run, it's the consistent gains that really add up.
But it can't make those decisions for you.
That makes perfect sense. It's like having a GPS system in your car. It can guide you to your destination, but you still need to know where you want to go in the first place.
That's a great analogy. Auto trading can be a fantastic shortcut, especially for beginners, but it's not a substitute for education and experience.
So it sounds like auto trading and continuous learning really go hand in hand.
Absolutely. In fact, I'd argue that auto trading can actually enhance your learning process in some ways.
Really?
How so?
Well, by taking care of the execution of your trades, auto trading frees up your mental bandwidth to focus on the bigger picture. You can spend more time analyzing market trends, refining your strategies, and understanding the why behind your trades.
Okay.
It's like having an assistant handle the tedious tasks so you can concentrate on strategic thinking.
That's a really interesting point. I never thought about it that way. But it makes sense. Instead of getting bogged down in the mechanics of placing trades, I can focus on learning about the markets and developing my skills as a trader.
Exactly. And there's another benefit to auto trading that a lot of people don't realize. By observing how the system executes trades based on different market conditions, you can gain valuable insights that you can apply to your own manual trading if you ever choose to go that route.
So auto trading can actually be a learning tool in itself.
It certainly can. It's a way to learn by doing, observing, and adapting. You see how experienced traders approach the markets, and you can learn from their successes and their mistakes.
Well said. I think we've covered a lot of ground today, from the nuts and bolts of setting up an auto trading system to the importance of ongoing learning and adaptation. It's been a fascinating conversation. Thanks for joining us on this exploration of the world of auto trading for options.
It was my pleasure. Happy trading, everyone.